What is going on, everyone? It's your host with the most, the Diamond Hands Prodigy, yet again, also known as the one and only. I hope everyone has been having a fantastic week. I do want to apologize. As you can see, my surgery went fairly well, but I was out of commission for about a week and a half with school and with making videos. So I do want to say I skipped last week, so I'm sorry. This is technically week 6, and I'm really not going to take much of you guys' time. Today we'll just have a quick recap. Hopefully we can do this in less than 5 minutes, maybe 7, 8-ish minutes. We do have one important play to make. We're going to roll one of our cash secured puts, namely on AMC, because we will be anticipating on running the wheel strategy. So with the wheel strategy, you get the juicy components of selling calls and puts and also have realized gains. So let me explain. A cash secured put, you initially front up a certain amount of money to buy 100 shares of an underlying stock. So the main purpose of the wheel strategy is you're going to sell a cash secured put just like you normally would. Let's say you want to start this on a company that you do not mind owning, and that's very important when you're running the wheel. You have to make sure that you're going to be okay in the event that your cash secured put gets assigned. So in the meantime, though, you can collect premium, and if your put expires out of the money, then you just try it again and collect more premium. Then eventually, though, you will purposely want to get assigned. So then you'll buy your shares at that certain strike. And so now after the fact, you'll have 100 shares of the underlying stock. Then the whole point is once you have 100 shares, you can then sell covered calls against your underlying stock, collect premium in the meantime. And so the goal is that eventually, once you get assigned on your covered call, hopefully that strike is above your cash secured put. So in other words, let's give an example. With AMC, let's suppose that I sell a cash secured put at the $19 strike. I sell a put and collect premium by doing so. Then let's just say that expiration rolls around and now it's time and I get assigned, meaning I buy 100 shares at $19. So total I spent $1,900. Then the gist of the wheel strategy is that you then sell calls against your 100 shares that you now have at a higher strike. So let's presume the $20 strike. Let's say we sell calls at the $20 strike. We can hopefully collect a decent amount of premium by having these calls expire worthless. But inevitably, if we do get assigned on those covered calls, remember that when you get assigned on a covered call, you're selling away. So in other words, those shares get called away from you. And on a cash secured put, when you get assigned, you have to buy the shares at the stated price. So if we do some very basic arithmetic, we bought shares for $1,900 and then we sell all those 100 shares for $2,000, you have a $100 realized gain, not to mention all the premium you have collected by selling those calls and selling those puts. Again, I'll have a whole video dedicated to the wheel strategy because it's so juicy and it's such a great way to have passive income coming into your portfolio on a bi-weekly or monthly basis. Before we get into the actual play itself on the portfolio, two things. I do want to give a big shout out to my good friend Mike DOP and also my friend Lupe, who have shared a few comments in the comment section. I genuinely appreciate comments like this because it's understandable, guys. If you've never ever dabbled into the world of the stock market, much less stock options, you're going to be completely lost. So guys, it's okay if some of this stuff sounds foreign to you. I guarantee you, if me, a male, were to all of a sudden be dropped into this beauty channel, I would be clueless as to what foundation is, eyeliner, blush. I don't know any of that. Same thing with stocks, right? Eventually, you'll start grasping the concepts just like I did. It didn't take me one day to learn everything. I had to go in and do it myself. I attribute this, what I'm doing, a lot to riding a bicycle. You can read all the books you want about riding a bicycle. You can watch a ton of YouTube videos on how to ride a bike, but it isn't until you're actually on that bike doing it yourself that you're truly gonna learn. And so I'm not sponsored or anything, but there are a few books that I really do recommend. One is this 8-Step Beginner's Guide to Value Investing by Freeman Publications. These guys make a ton of really good books on all things stock market. This one just so happens to be a fantastic entry point for any of those serious about making money long-term in the stock market, but they also do have other books that are more specific on certain strategies, like the Iron Condor, like credit spreads, or like short selling. So there's a ton of resources out there, including this video. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so now once again, we have a very, very bloody Thursday. And for some reason, Thursdays are always like this. I have about 5 minutes left before the bell. So let me go ahead and get into the action and then tell you guys afterwards what was my reasoning. So for the most part, all of our options, all of our bull options are severely down. So if we look at Facebook at 320, this is down Omega. We're down $80, 13% on the day. And then Roku is set to announce earnings right after the bell. But already we have a very grim foreshadowing because today we are down a whopping 27% on our option, and altogether Roku stock is down, tumbling about 11%. The rest of our stock positions, except for Coca-Cola, are also in the gutter. So we have DraftKings, we do also have IIPR down 3.5%, Apple down 2.25%, IWM and IJR both down 2-ish% or so. Now, before we get the bell, here is our AMC put. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to view all options. And remember, we are anticipating to start our wheel strategy pretty soon. I feel like we've collected a decent amount of premium, and now it's time that we roll this sucker and eventually have in our minds that we are going to want to get assigned. So when you go into cash secured put, ideally, you'd like to buy your shares as low as possible. Right now, our strike is at 19.5, meaning if we were to get assigned, we would have to spend $1,950 to buy those 100 AMC shares. I want to buy in at a slightly lower amount. So we're going to roll this sucker out to March 11th at the $19 strike. So this is the one that we're going to sell. And as you guys can see, we have a total credit of about $89, and we're also going to get $50 of collateral released. I'll go more in detail on the cash secured put video on why that is your collateral. So we're going to get $50 plus 89. Let's go ahead and type in one contract. We have a really wide bid and ask spread, so there's a lot of volatility with AMC right now and the market in general. The mid price right now is about $90. Just so that we can get a fill, we're going to request $85 in credit. And as you can see, Robinhood will tell you right now, I will receive $85 by rolling the position, and I'll also get $50 of released collateral.
A few moments later.
It's still placed. It looks like it's still not going to fill. So now let's actually go to about $65. It looks like, especially here at the bell, there it goes. So we finally got filled. So total, we got about $110. And guys, on a day like this, we're finally going to introduce a new asset class into our portfolio, and that is Bitcoin. Cryptocurrencies in general are extremely volatile, and I wouldn't recommend cryptocurrency for everyone. Countless people who get liquidated, their entire portfolios get liquidated because they over leverage themselves and buy some shit coins. It's honestly pretty funny, but it's not, because people lose their entire life savings, get divorced, and eventually go long rope. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to look at Bitcoin's price, and it recently tanked today. I saw earlier we're down about 6% on Bitcoin. So we have roughly about $227 roughly in our portfolio. A big mistake a lot of people do is go ahead and full send all those $227 in one go. We're not going to do that. We're going to split that up roughly in thirds, because Bitcoin could continue to slide. Apparently, President Biden issued a declaration earlier today saying that sometime next week, Congress is going to get together, and essentially the government wants to create legislation so that Bitcoin is more regulated. Not just Bitcoin, but all of the cryptocurrencies. So for now, what we're going to do is we're only going to buy $100 worth, and that's about 0.0025 BTC, so barely any. But if Bitcoin one day goes to, I don't know, say $1 million, I mean, our $100 investment will nearly be a 20-fold investment. So not bad. We're going to go ahead and review the order, and all we're going to do is we're going to buy $100 of Bitcoin right now, and looks like that should be done. I did place a market order, so it should get filled immediately. All right, and so yeah, here it is as part of our portfolio. So we have our stock options, we have our regular stock, and we have our cryptocurrency. So we barely have a little bit of Bitcoin, and we'll have a little over $100 should Bitcoin continue to slide. We will continue to dollar cost average. Guys, that's been it for the most part. The stock market continues to tank on fears of Russia and Ukraine. I really hope all of that gets sorted out. I am in general anti-war, so I'm not supportive of any of these aggressions by foreign powers onto another country. Hopefully all of this gets sorted out without any blood on the battlefield, but it seems like diplomacy is not working right now and Russia is just acting more and more aggressive. So we're just going to have to wait and see what's going to happen to the market, but for right now it's not looking good. Our overall portfolio is down about 6%. This is a fantastic buying opportunity, which is exactly what we did on Bitcoin. But for today, that's going to be all. Told you guys this was going to be a little quicker. The bell just rang, signaling the end of today's trading day, and man, what a bloodbath out here. So guys, I hope you learned something. If you did, please consider dropping a like, as that helps these videos get pushed out to more people. And if you have any question whatsoever, please hit me up over on my socials or drop a comment down below and I'll be sure to answer it. Hope you guys take care, and I'll be seeing you guys real soon.